Your wish has been granted.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another deck profile episode here on Eternal Dragon TCGs, and I have Baylen here, aka Pancake, from the Slug Domains Discord, showing off his red pan deck profile. Baylen, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to doing a little bit more community spotlights on their own decks, on their own profiles, to show what's really going on out there other than just like the typical stuff that you see in the meta. And of course, the deck profiles that we in the squad of Eternal Dragon TCGs do ourselves. We still have some sauce cooking up. Just, we wanted to give an avenue for people who have cool decks they want to share. Have an avenue to do so, because there was someone Zero Suit Violet, that's her name, in the Discord, who I asked to do her Chi-Chi deck profile, and she was like, well, isn't that for people that only top and everything? It's like, no, not on our channel. On our channel, we like to invite everybody to share their sauce if they want to. Some people like to keep it secretive, but again, thank you so much for doing this, Baylen, and let's go ahead and get started and take us through Red Pan.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to explain the leader, or does everybody kind of know what Red Pan does by now, do you think?
You think most people would, but go ahead and give us just like the TLDR of what Pan does.
Okay, so Pan's biggest thing is she plays cards. When she plays cards, she gives them power and she draws. That's the basic thing. But go into it a little bit. On her Unawakened side, when you play your first battle card, you give it plus 5k power. If that reaches 20k power, you draw a card. And then her Awakening condition is if you have 3 or more Z. Actually, it might be if either player has 3 or more Z. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because you'll always have 3 Z. And then you'll untap 1, draw 1, go down to 6 life. On her Awakening side, she has the same effect as the Awakened side, where the first card you play, you'll gain 5k power. If it reaches 20, you'll draw a card. 20 or more, I should say. But she also draws on attack, and then she also has an activate main once per turn. She chooses one of your red Z battle cards and gives it another plus 5k power for the turn.
So this is just like the definition of red aggro.
The definition of good aggro, and basically anything you want to put in this deck, it can run it.
Now,
Pen is like the definition of a good stuff deck.
Right, it's very generic, and you could put whatever kind of red good
Right.
stuff. Now, I do have one question for you. Do you like this alt art better or the original art better for the reboot?
It's hard to say. I used to say I like the original better, but this kind of grew on me. I didn't like the this alt art for a while because it seemed very green, and it's a red leader, so it kind of threw me off. But it has grown on me over time.
Yeah, I could see that. I think my only real complaint about the alt is she looks a little too nice and gentle for an aggressive deck. So I don't picture this cute little Pan beating straight ass like she does with the deck.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I can see that for sure.
But go ahead and take us through the list.
All right, so we're gonna start off. I probably should have organized this a little bit different, but we'll get there in the end. So the first card that you're gonna want to run 4 up at all times is Grandfather Strength. This is the card that came out in the first second anti-box, I think technically, right? But the first round of support for Pan. This is probably your best card in the deck. It's your secondary draw engine. Pan already draws a ton of cards, but it will draw even more with this guy. It says the first time one of your cards' power is raised, you draw a card and choose one of your opponent's cards and give it minus 20k power. So
very good card.
It's so good because you'll just when you stack it with the Pan auto, most of your cards already draw a card by some way or another. So you'll play a card, draw a card off leader, that card will draw a card, and this will draw you a card. So you end up going +2 with basically everything in your deck.
Do you ever get close to
while
decking
minusing your opponent? Oh yeah, I can't tell if you can see how many cards are in this list yet, but you have to run over 50 because you will deck out by the end of your turn 3 if you're not running it a little bit over 50. That's been my experience.
Right on. So Mill's your worst enemy.
You would think that, but I think the only mill deck that I would actually have a problem with is Cooler Mill. This deck, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has like 100% win rate versus Zamasu Mill. I fought Zamasu Mill so many times, and with proper side, I just destroy it. So, that's just been my experience.
Fair enough.
So, all right, well, I yapped about this one for a while, so let's go to the next one. Next, I'm going to run 4 copies of the Fighting Tomboy. This came out in the newest anti-box. No, not the newest anti-box. How many anti-boxes have we had?
We have had since 2019, I want to say, so a good 5 of them.
Interesting. So, okay, so this one came out, I don't remember which anti-box it came out in, but then Tomboy came out in the one after that. As you can see, Bandai just likes to buff this deck all the time, over and over and over. But this one says, it's reduced in your hand by 2 if your leader is a pan, so it's a 1 cost. On play, you'll draw a card from leader because it's a 15k. On attack, you draw a card as well, that's its auto. And then activate main, burst 2. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, you send this card to the Z and you can play a SS4 or a Sun Goku. I can't read it. I'm blind.
You can, so
cost of 4.
To zoom in on it, just right click on it, and then view view card.
I see.
There you go.
Oh, this will be way easier. Yeah, it's a mono red Sun Goku GT with an energy cost of 4 and 15,000 power from your hand.
There you go.
So,
and it's from the 7th anniversary box.
Yeah, 7th anniversary box. There you go. So this is the card that you want to see in your opening hand every single game.
It's a hard mulligan for that card.
Hard mulligan for this card. If you see this, the Grandfather Strength, great. But you're looking for this card, and then one of their I don't think we're getting to those yet, but I'll show you in just a second.
We'll get to it when we
So hard mulligan for this card. Yes. So the next card is the card that came in the starter deck. It's Wisher of Miracles. Let's just view it again. So its ability is if your leader is a pan card and there are 1 or more red cards in your combo area, you draw a card and play this card for 1 red. So when it comes in, it draws a card, and then you'll draw a card from leader, and then if you happen to have Grandfather Strength out as well, it draws another card, so you'll draw 3 cards total after playing it.
Just a casual +2.
Right. And then it says at the end of battle where this card was played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets -10k power for the turn.
Beautiful.
It's not the greatest, but that 10k power can make a difference sometimes. That's why I only have it at 2. I feel like it was a mandatory 4 before we got the new support, but now 2 is just fine. All right, and so then next we're going to be running, it's actually a tournament promo. It's called United Emotions. This card also reduced in your hand by 2. When you play it, you'll draw a card as well from leader, and then when it swings, if it's 20k or more power, you look at the top 5 and add 1 red sand card with an energy cost of 5 or less, or 1 red unison with a specified cost of 3 from them to your hand.
So it might as well be just another +1 off the deck.
Yeah, as you can tell, most of these cards, they just draw you a card on top of the leader, so almost everything in this deck will get you an extra card. So this deck just draws a ton. Next, we're going to be getting into our SS4 Gokus. This is the one that you're going to probably want to play off of the Tomboy. This one, and we'll have another one, but I'll show that one in a second. This one says, on play, first, let's say, if you want to play it by itself without cheating it out, it's pay 1, burst 2, if your leader red pen, play it. And then on play, you can pay another red, discard 1 card from your hand, and then you can play your unison, your 3-cost unison from your deck in rest mode, and then at the end of the turn you switch this card to active mode, and it has blocker as well.
Nice.
And then also, when this card attacks or activates blocker, you use a mono red sand with 5,000 combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated. So it also generates you Z. And then this is going to be another one from the starter deck. This is your other Goku. This is the one I actually like to go for if I'm not going the Unison play. Because this one also bursts 2, just like the other one. But this one says, if this card is in a battle, you can pay 1, draw a card, switch it to active mode, and give it plus 5,000 combo. or 5,000 power for the turn, and it also combos a card from drop as well, like the other one. So this one on your turn 2 can be a 30k swinger twice.
That's insane.
While getting you 2 energy. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's basically your bread and butter combo before we got the support. It's still great. If you don't see the new one, this one's just as good. They're both fantastic. And so after that, we have the Great Ape. Probably one of the next best cards in the deck. It's kind of like your it leads into your finisher. It says when your leader's pan and you have 2 and your opponent has 2 or more energy, after you've used this card in a combo from your hand, you play it just for free from the drop. So your biggest thing with this is you're gonna play it for free, you're gonna draw a card, and then we'll get to the secondary effects later. It has a couple more autos. I'll get to it when we get to the Z deck. But essentially, when this card is under a Z battle card, it gives that Z battle card 5,000 power, and then when it attacks, you minus 25,000 power one of your opponent's battle cards.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute when we get to the Z deck. So this is our Unison. It used to be almost unplayable because it costs 3, but now you can cheat it out for 1. So it says at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. It's also a blocker, 15k. Its auto's insane. It says +1 when you use a mono red battle card in a combo, draw a card. Additionally, if you have a battle card with 20,000 power or more in your battle area, this card gains double strike for the turn. So it's just another way to gain even more cards in your hand, as well as swing for double strike, and then at the end of turn have a blocker.
The pressure is unreal.
Oh, it's crazy. And then it also has this activate main. You'll almost never use it. It's a +0. It's plus or minus 0. It says choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 15k for the turn. You'll almost never use that because you're greedy and you want to have a huge hand.
I mean, you could fuck up Black Mass Saiyan with it.
That's true, but if Black Mass Sand was there, I feel like to get it out, I'd already have to go 1, 2. I'd already go 4 out of hand, I think.
That's fair. That is fair, yeah. Because you got to cheat it out, and it requires 2 cards. So yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I have a tech for Black Mass Sand. I'll show you once we get to the Z deck.
All right.
But next card, one of the best cards in red, best generic red card. It's the UI Goku blocker. Everybody kind of knows what this does. If you have 3 or more energy, you play this card, give one of your opponent's battle cards minus 20, and then when you use a card in a combo, switch it to active mode. It's a barrier blocker.
Beautiful.
Just feels like it was made for Pan. It's a 25k dual attacker for Pan or a 25k plus blocker. Just great. And then coming with that from the same set, we got the Beast Gohan. Also feels like it was just made for Pan. If your leader's red and your opponent has 3 or more energy, when you play it, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, and then you can combo your rest mode battle cards. You can just use your rest mode battle cards in combo. So in this, it's great because if you have your grandfather strength out, when you play this, you'll stack your autos, so you'll draw 1 from leader, 1 from any box Pan, and then you'll draw 2 more and then discard 2. So you just get to filter 4 cards into your deck, as well as it being a 35k in Pan and being able to combo off all of your rest mode cards. After that, we got our super combo. It's nothing crazy. It's just that if you have 2 or more Z, or a Z battle, or a Z leader, you combo with it, draw a card. I'm mostly running it just because it's a Saiyan, because you want Saiyan names for a couple of your other cards coming up here in a minute. Nothing too crazy. Basic super combo, and it is Pan, coincidentally.
So it just goes with the deck.
It does, yeah. Next we got defeating the demon. Love this card. If you have 3 or more Z energy and some other things, it's reduced by 3 in your hand, or it's reduced by 1 for each Z. You're always going to have like 3 Z or a Z battle, because that's your awakening condition, so it's almost always going to be 1. When you play it, you'll minus 20 one of your opponent's battle cards. So it's kind of like UI blocker, but it's also on a counterplay, and then it's a double striker as well.
It's been probably a standard card in red for a while now.
Oh yeah, it's just too good. I could see it being like kind of power crept out eventually, but right now, I mean, why not run it?
I think the only reason why you might not run it is if you're playing a deck that doesn't generate a lot of Z energy, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. But next we got 2 Videl Encountering Danger. I know some Pan players don't play this. I love it because I'm greedy and I like to make my opponent miserable. And you do have a 3-cost unison, so you can play it. It's a counterplay. On play, you Spirit Boost 1, and then you can minus 20 2 of your opponent's battle cards. It's so good in this deck, especially if you like, for example, counter window 1 a card with Gohan, and then follow it with a counter window 2 of Videl, and then you have like this anti-box pan out. You're drawing 2 cards. You minus something 20k from the grandfathers, 20k from the defeating the demon, and 20k 2 other things with the Videl. So you just get to clear like either 2 big things or 4 small things and draw 2 cards and have 2 bodies. It's just so valuable.
And it just tells anything with invulnerable or indestructible, whatever the fuck that keyword is, to fuck off.
Yeah, now you can see kind of why I was saying that Zamasu kind of hates this deck, huh?
And you're just melting their cards before they have a chance to do anything.
I know. And they're all 20 coincidentally, so you're minus 20, minus 20, minus 20. They just don't get the chance, you know? But next we have the 1 of Yamcha. It's limited to 1. It's great. Kind of like Videl, you can combo with Gohan, but it's minus 15 2 battle cards. This one sometimes is better because if you just Videl, you wouldn't get the draw off your leader because it doesn't get to 20k. But Yamcha does get to 20, so it's one of those things where it just kind of depends on what you have. And then this can also hit Patara targets when they attempt to Patara something. So that's why it's just, you might as well run it. You have a unison, just throw it in here, you know?
For sure. I miss my God Sealing technique so bad.
Oh my gosh, that card is so crazy.
It can come back to work.
If you're God Sealing an ultimate, does the ultimate just leave or does it not because you never even played it?
You never played it, so it just goes back to hand, but it could fuck up a lot of turns.
Yeah, fair. Holy cow, man. God Sealing. Crazy times.
At least I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I think you're right. I think you're right, yeah. Next, a card that some people just hate even though it's so good. You got Topo, Righteous Aid. It's the same as like the Boo Negate or Oceanus. You pay 2, play it. It's reduced by 2 on your opponent's turn. Becomes a 25k for you as well and draws you a card. And whenever your opponent wants to swing at you, they have to discard 2. Pretty solid.
It is a floodgate nobody wants to swing through.
No, absolutely not. Especially with the deck like Pan, who's constantly drawing 5 cards per turn or whatever you are. Like, you're just not going to match them.
Mm-hmm.
But next we got 3 of the Power Release Vegetos. This is so good. This card came out and it made this deck so much better because you ping a life, so you automatically go even for that. And then the best thing is because you raise your power level of your leader in the counter window, it automatically triggers the Grandfather's Strength. So if your opponent had like an on-play auto, even if they pop this, you'd still get the extra draw on minus 20 off the Grandfathers, as well as making your leader a 45k for the battle. And it's a blocker. It's just so good. Draws you like 3 cards, makes your leader huge. Great card. I would run it at 4 if I had the room. Holy cow. After that, we got 2 of the Concept Rare. This Concept Rare, kind of like this Vegeta, on counterattack, it gives your leader +5 for the turn. So you trigger the anti-box pan in the counter window, so you automatically get your draw. It's a 30k double striker, so you can use it on offense or defense, and it's just good. You might as well. I haven't tested it super extensively, so it could be just a 1 of, could be a 3 of. So testing will tell, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's like easily one of the better of the Concept Rares, just because it beans your leader and it's just a 1-drop double striker if it lives. So
yeah, absolutely. And then after that, we got 3 of the Imposing Presence. Pan just You used to run Explosive Dance back in the day, but now you draw so many cards that Imposing Presence is just great. You don't have to waste time setting up your Z extra, going down to 4 life. And I noticed actually when I got all this support, there were so many times where I wasn't at 4, so Explosive was never even online. So it was just nice to be like, I'm gonna tax you for swinging, and then also just combo and get value off my Unison and my counter plays and just draw while you're constantly punished. And then SCR of choice, we're going to play SS4 Vegeta, Light in the Dark. Just so good. You get to make it a 45, draw a card, look at your opponent's hand,
rip that
plan
super
it out.
combo out, whip out.
Rip the super combo, rip the floodgate, rip whatever they got. You just kill them.
And then quad strike per game. I do wonder though if there's if you've ever considered playing the Super Saiyan 4 Broly SCR, because it also makes everything they do minus 5k. But I still think probably Light in the Dark is probably the better of the two. But yeah, it is I wonder if you ever considered it.
I unfortunately can't run it because I don't have any battle cards with an original power of 35.
Oh, it's original. See, that's where I got it.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, fun fact, I actually kind of cheated a couple times because I proxied it for a while, and then, because I was like, oh, I have this Gohan, or I have whatever, and then they were like, no, it has to be original powers, so, yeah, a little whoopsie on my part for a couple games, but it would be amazing. I would run it if I could.
Yeah, because on paper it sounds like it'd work well, but yeah, I totally thought it was just like if you had just, not original power, but if you had the power of 35k or more.
Yeah, I wish. Oh my gosh, such a good card. But yeah, that's the main deck. Any other questions before we move on to the Z deck?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, perfect. Let's go to the Z deck. It's nothing too crazy. First, we're going to start off with your Z extra. It's just great when you're going for game or defensively if your opponent hard floods you. We all know what the Z extra does. Gives you 15k power, or you pay 1 and 3Z minus 25k something, I think, and 15k power, draw a card, something like that. It's the Z extra that every color has. Might as well run it
for sure.
This is our Z battle. This is when I was talking about the aggressor. I'll pull this one up so you can read it. So when this is the aggressor, the monkey is under it, it gives it plus 5k power, and then on swing it'll minus 25 as well. But then also when this card is played, you can tuck something from the drop under it, and it gains barrier for the turn, as well as deals a damage to your opponent if they're 4.
Value.
4 or higher. So
straight value.
It's just, yeah, immediately puts your opponent into kill percent. You can pay an additional red into it to give it another plus 5 and dual attack. So on play with your leader effect to give it another plus 5, I think it becomes a 35k and a 40k if it's the first card you played that turn.
And then you can make
and
a
then,
dual attack double strike.
Yeah, and then also Fash ruled recently, well, it wasn't recently, it was a little bit ago, that if you stack an ape with your next Z battle card, we'll get to in just a second, and then stack another one from the drop under it, it gets both autos. So you get an extra plus 5k and you get a minus 25k something else. So this card can just swing for like 50k double strike, minus 25k 2 things twice.
It's beautiful. I mean, it is underneath the card, so it still counts,
Yeah, definitely. It's basically, as Guts would say, if you guys don't know Guts would say it's the SCR of the deck. Which is fair.
And you could run 4.
Yeah, you can run 4. So next is another anti-box support card, which just makes this deck disgusting. It's your Z battle. You pay 1 and 2Z and play it. If your leader's a pan, it's a 15k, so you also get a draw off it if your leader's pan. When it's played, you can pay a red into it and play a gray ape from your drop. But if you already have one on the field, you can activate main if you have 3 or more energy and you have a aggressor. If you have the monkey on the field or already, you can play the Defender of Life, that last Z battle card, right on top of it, and then give it plus 5k power.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, so You could, if you wanted, if you're for some reason your opponent kills your monkey and it's not alive, you can pay another red to play it. But usually you'll already have one on the board, so you just get to basically play your big boss monster for 1 energy.
That's gross.
Yes. it's something, that's for sure. Next we got our one of Son Goku Nonstop Attack. This is the Kid QZ battle card. You have some 30Ks, so you might as well run it. It's pretty solid. You get a KO something with 30K power or less, which is kind of an awkward number for Pan sometimes. I know it doesn't seem like it with how much I've been talking about removal, but you get a KO something 30K power for 1 energy, and then also swing I think it's 25K double strike. So it's just a nice finisher. It's just an option. You don't use it very often, but it's there. After that, this is an interesting one that I don't see many people run because it's just kind of me. This is the one for the Red Vegeta deck. It's reduced in your Z deck by black for each stand in your warp. So usually you'll follow this up after you've done your Overrealm with your SS4 Vegito, or if you've warped a couple cards with the Vegito Negate. So when you play it, you send a sand card from your drop to a warp. When this card or your opponent's card is played, and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it's minus 20K power for the turn, and you get to choose one. So it's just kind of a nice, solid 25K card.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
then after that, this is my... Oh, go ahead.
I was like, and it has a sick-ass Zenkai rare art.
Oh my... Dude, the Zenkai arts go so hard. It looks so good in real life, too. But yeah, I don't see anyone play this, but I think it's pretty neat.
I could see the merit for it.
Yeah. And the last card, this is my tech I was talking about. This is the Majin Buu Z Unison for the Jiren deck. If you caught it earlier, I'm not a big fan of Black Mass Sand. That card just like, oh man, it obliterates this deck sometimes if you just don't have a good hand. But like normally people would play it and want to have like 3 or more markers to make this like a 25K or 30K and kill something 30K. I simply just use this because when it's played, it's a 10K, and I can KO something with less power than it. So I literally just use it to kill BMS. That's basically all this card is for.
I mean, that's the deck's arch enemy is BMS, so you might as well get rid of it while you can.
Holy cow. But yeah, that's my little tech. Some other people might have thought of it as well, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm claiming it as my tech until proven otherwise.
All right. So what do we got on the side?
We got on the side. All right. So we're gonna start off with 3 Koits.
Koits is Koits.
Koits is Koits. You run it at 3 because you want to see it. Pretty self-explanatory. After that, we got 2 of the counter. This is also for green and for blue. When you're swinging your big like Defender of Life for 50K double strike, whatever, and they dormant you or whatever, and then you counter them. It's just
feels good.
Chef's kiss.
It
feels so good, but also you feel so bad a little bit. After that, we got 2 Shu. It's your counterplay. You really only use this for like Oceanus because it's a 5K, and then you can also use this for what else is a 5K? I guess technically you could also use this for BMS, ironically. But anything that's 5K or less, which is some floodgates, are really nice. You can hit Android 17 floodgate with this. Just a solid red. After that, we got 2 Broly Crown. This is for decks that like to play those 2 cost negates. Like I play this in the mirror for when another Pan player is playing Topo, or for Oceanus, or for even against blue where they'll Sensu Bean, and then I'll be like, oh well, you Sensu Bean, I'm gonna punish you for doing that. Pretty self-explanatory. After that, we got 2 V-Rays. I'm actually thinking I might cut this because we are kind of in a 30K meta, I guess, sometimes big swingers, but I just don't see it come up enough that it's worth on the side deck, so I might cut this for some other stuff.
I agree. I think like with like every time I look at Violent Rays, even with the errata, I read it and it seems like it's so good because You know, it's 25k or less, right? 25k.
I think it.
Or is it 20?
It's 30.
30k power.
So it
more,
used to be. It used to be 20. Yep.
There we go. 30k power more, and it seems like it would be, you know, so good because we do have big, you know, boss monsters, but it just never comes up.
I know, especially with Chi-Chi now and some of these alliance decks, they're like, oh well, I'm not swinging with 30k, I'm swinging with a 25k, and then I'm just making it 100, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, after that we got 2 Scatters Destroyed. I actually haven't tested this very much yet, but in theory I would play this against like maybe Chi-Chi or like some decks that like to swing the same battle card a bunch of times. And you can also hit leader with this, which is really nice. So sometimes your opponent is just like, oh no, I have to swing at their battle card with my leader just to get my draw, or at the battle card to get a draw. So
I feel like that would hurt Panzino a lot because you're not allowing Panzino to the leader to swing.
Yeah, so you can prevent crack in space time, or like say they're swinging with their Gohan Z battle, you can negate the Gohan Z battle, choose their leader and like one of their other million battle cards they have, and just be like, okay, you can't swing with those. So I haven't tested it too much, but in theory sounds pretty solid. And then last of all, we got 2 of the Krillin from the Gohan deck. Shout out Slug, actually.
I love this card.
Slug's idea. It's so good. This is specifically for Zamasu counter.
Okay.
Because if you guys don't know, Zamasu counter says red can kiss my butt, you can't minus my cards. And then I know Bandai wants us to play like Rapid Reversal Goku, but this one is great because it also draws a card on play. So in Pan, you're drawing 2 cards, potentially 3 cards, and then it becomes a 20k. So then you just swing into the Zamasu, combo 1 card. They're not allowed to combo, so they just have to eat it.
I love this card so much. I played it in red flip-on.
Oh, it's such a good card. I probably wouldn't suggest this in a red sideboard that like isn't red Pan, because you don't get the 5k boost, but it's still a pretty solid 15k dual attacker. So, but yeah, that's about it. We went through the main Z deck and side deck, and then that's pretty much all I got.
Well, thank you so much for showing off your red Pan deck. So if you were to recommend this deck to somebody, who do you think you would recommend it for? Like the type of player, like who is this deck ideal for?
It's so customizable. I first of all, I would recommend this to like almost any newer player, because it's such a good deck to start with, because it's very simple in practice, but it can also grow with you the more time you put into it. And this deck can be almost as good as you are. There are some weaknesses, obviously, like every deck, but I definitely think this can be for almost any player. I would suggest it to people who do like to play a little bit more aggro. But there are builds, like there's some multicolor builds that people run, like with blue, that can be a little bit more defensive and a little bit more mid-range. All in all, while I mostly recommend this deck to like an aggro player, I really think it could be good for almost anyone at all levels of play.
And it seems relatively inexpensive too, if you're not trying to like max rarity everything.
Yeah, like I have a bunch of the alt-arts in here, but if you were to like go really low rarity, it could be a very cheap deck and perform well for you.
Well, there we have it. Again, thank you so much, Baylen, for sharing your deck profile with us today. And as always, I'm more than welcome to hear more deck profiles from you in the future. Anybody watching this video down in the comments, please let Baylen know if you have any questions about the deck, any ideas you might want to pitch at him. I'm sure he'll check the comments and give you answers down below. With that being said, we will catch you in the next video, and this is the champ saying peace out.